Hey guys, happy new moon in Virgo. I'm feeling this new moon and, something that's been going on leading up to this new moon in Virgo that you might be feeling that's not exactly the moon is a Mars Venus conjunction. And so the past few days we've had a Mars Venus conjunction. And what that kind of means is you have this one planet that, if you think about Mars, it's like the god of war. It's like action and forward movement and can be anger and or fierceness, right, in the right direction. And then you have Venus, very sensitive, soft, sensual, playful planet. So you may have been feeling super conflicted. You might be feeling frustrated or overwhelmed. At best, you've been in action and have been able to find moments of play, and that would probably be the best way to activate the best of both worlds. But for a lot of us, I feel like I've definitely have noticed a lot of people feeling overwhelmed. I've felt overwhelmed myself. A lot of people, a lot of my friends are moving through a particular busy time right now in business where a lot of action is called for, but also there's a lot of vacation happening. We're having a long weekend, right? So it's kind of like this flood of work and things you want to get done, and then perhaps having long weekend plans. So if that's what you're moving through, don't worry, you're not alone. You're, right on the cosmic pulse, and it's okay. There's a learning and a balancing for us in every moment like that. So to have that before a new beginning, the frustration almost kicks the dust up for us to take a look at, what's working and what's not working. What's working and what's not working in my business, what's working, what's not working, and how I'm living my life and how I'm scheduling my day and my daily habits and how I'm taking care of myself mentally, physically, spiritually. And to kind of gear us up into this new moon, super moon in Virgo. So the super moon just means that it's going to be exaggerated, the energy is heightened, and we're going to feel it more. And a new moon, of course, is always a time of new beginnings, fresh starts, new chapters, a time for us to look at, the intentions that we want to set and where we want to be moving forward and our goals. And that's when the energy is most supported for starting new things. And so I want to do a little bit of an active workshop this time. And if you don't have your journal and a pen with you at this moment, maybe even a glass of water, tea, click pause, go run, get your journal, get a pen, because I actually want you to be in the process of writing down things as I'm talking about it, because I just know that as I'm dropping these seeds, things are going to sprout, and I want you to have it written down. So I'm going to give you a moment. Go grab your pen. Okay. Hopefully you paused me and you started me again, or you already had your journal because you're an OG appreciative lady and you always keep your journal with you during these workshops. And so I want you to write down, what are the things that are top of mind for you right now that you want to call into your life? In this particular moment, in this week, thinking about what are the things that have been in your thoughts, what are the things that have been apparent to you about what you want in this particular moment right now in your life. And maybe it's just one thing. Maybe you've just been thinking about a new home, or maybe you're really thinking about partnership right now, or maybe you're really thinking about finally getting that workout routine down, or finally eliminating gluten because it doesn't make you feel good. Whatever that thing is, write it down. Maybe it's one thing, maybe it's three things, whatever it is. But like I always say, these aren't things we have to go digging for. The moon brings things to the surface for us. It's things that are coming up in our psyche that we're already interacting with. There are things that we're already thinking of that are already crossing our mind. So it's not it's not something that we have to feel is kind of out of the blue, or we have to really like scratch our head to be like, what do I want? You know that thing that's keeping you up at night, that thing that's coming up in your meditations during the morning, or you're thinking about during the day. That's the thing. And so now if you've got maybe one or a few things, I want you to, on a different page, I want you to write each thing, but leave space under it. Leave maybe like 5 lines or so of space. Or if you want, just give them each a separate page. You have some space. I'd probably do that if I was me, because I I write a lot. And so what this Virgo new moon is helping us do is pretty much bringing awareness to how we need to detoxify our life, how we need to reorganize. So if you think about Virgo focuses on physical health of the body, right? Really grounded in earth, in nature, really grounded in, what are we putting into our bodies? How are we treating our bodies? How are we taking care of our physical fitness? Also organization, efficiency, kind of getting things done. Very, very, very practical sign. Virgo can also be very critical. And we're going to use the criticalness of Virgo as a positive right now, because what it's going to allow you to do is have a very objective view of what you're doing and how it's blocking you from getting to that thing that you're ready to call in. So if, for instance, I want you to take your first thing and I want you to ask yourself, is there anything physical health wise or self-care wise that I am doing or not doing that is a detriment to me accomplishing or attracting this outcome and this goal? And so you might think right away, oh, well, obviously, if the goal is physical fitness and you're not going to the gym, then that's a really obvious one. But sometimes it's going to be less obvious. So for instance, let's say if your goal is to do more presentations at work, and you're like, okay, well, how would that be affected by my physical fitness? Well, you might say, well, if I started listening to my body and maybe released dairy, or I got more sleep, I might have clearer skin, and that would make me more confident to give those presentations at work. I'd be more apt to volunteer for them. You might I know in general, for me, my physical fitness really impacts how I show up for my work. If I don't have energy, I can't have inspiration to do whatever I do. If it's dating, right? If I'm not feeling good in my own skin, if I'm not feeling well or fit or, in radiant, right? When I work out and I eat healthy, I feel radiant. That would totally impact my relationships. That also really impacts my work, right? So thinking right now, are there things that you're doing? Are there things that maybe your body has been telling you, hey, this is not working for me, that's affecting one or all of these goals? Chances are, honestly, cheat sheet, it's going to be all of them. Because one of the things this Virgo new moon is reminding us is that this is all connected, right? And our physical health is like the grounding nature that allows us to show up for all of these other beautiful things that we want in our life. So if we're not listening to our body, if we are not taking care of it, if we're not sleeping or working out or drinking enough water, or we're putting in things into it that it's allergic to or it's sensitive to, right? It's not going to be ideal for us to get where we want to go, because we're putting a physical barrier between us and our best selves, right? And on the other side of that barrier is that goal that we want. And if we're feeling exhausted all the time, or we're not feeling confident in our skin because we're doing something that's directly leading to inflammation or just exhaustion. Like when I don't get sleep, I just don't feel good, If you eat crappy, I feel like we've all had, you go, maybe have a friend's birthday, or you have a holiday weekend like coming up, you allow yourself to be more lax and just eat whatever, and you're feeling great in the moment. And then, Monday comes and you're like, I feel disgusting, right? So it's honoring, okay, what are the physical things that I could do? And I want you to write down for each one of your goals now what you could release and maybe what you could add on. Maybe what's a ritual you could add. What maybe you could, make sure that you're getting 8 hours of sleep at night. Maybe you could make sure that you're drinking a certain number of glasses of water a day. Maybe you're going to release, like I said, dairy or gluten or something that's not working for you. Right now during this new moon window, you're going to be extra supported in making those shifts. So it's going to feel easier than it normally would for you to make the shift off. So it's great time to take advantage of that auspicious, energetic, little support group here we have going with Virgo. The second thing that I want you to write down when you're finished, and if you're not finished, click pause or just keep writing while I'm chatting, is your mental habits that are stopping you from achieving that goal. And so these can be a little bit more insidious. And some of, even the most wise and in touch spiritual people I know, you can kind of see when their mental habits are blocking them. So for instance, if you're saying like, oh, I want to attract, I want to make X amount of money, but you're going around and all you're thinking about is how broke you are. And you're thinking about how hard it is to make money. And you're thinking about how much little money you have right now. Or you're thinking about your student loan debt or whatever it is, right? Your mental energy is creating a barrier to the thing you actually want. Same thing for the people who want to find their soulmate, right? And all you're thinking about is, there's no good men in the world, or it's so hard to find your person, right? These are all lies that we tell ourselves. And the problem is if we keep on telling ourselves that, we perpetuate a lie that we don't want, right? We don't want to, in my practical magic training, I teach how our words are wands, right? And our thoughts create things. So when we're thinking things, we can either stop things on the level of thought, which is the first line of defense. So if you realize, oh, wow, I'm thinking, and hey, there's no shame in this game. We've all done it. I'm thinking, every time my desire for more money, or every time my desire for that partner, every time my desire for that fit body or whatever it is that comes up, is right next to it is like a little 1-2 punch out that goes, oh, but you don't know how to make money. Oh, but there's no people in New York, or, you don't have enough time to go to the gym, whatever it is, right? We come up with like a counter thought that just knocks it out, that says, okay, well, the desire came up, it barely had time to sprout, and you're already like smashing it. So I want you to get real honest with yourself right now. And this is where we're going to, enjoy tapping into that slightly critical Virgo energy, because it's going to help us take a really accurate look at where are we waving our wands and creating things that we don't really want to do. So go for each thing that you wrote down right now. And I want you to write down where you're waving your wand and what those thoughts are that you need to make legal, that are no longer allowed to be a part of your world. And again, feel free to pause me if you need more time, or keep writing into me chatting about the next one. But this is going to feel like a massive overhaul. And the interesting thing about this new moon that I like is that oftentimes when we come up with it, for a new moon, we think, okay, these are the new things I want to institute. And what are the things I need to do to institute them? And the thing I'm really loving about this Virgo moon is that I think it's more so saying, okay, these are the things you want to institute. Girl, they're on their way. How can we strip back these things you're doing that are actually stopping them from being instituted, from naturally coming forth? Let's get a handle on it. And often, yeah, I really do find that is the case. It's things want to flow to us. The desires in our heart want to flow to us, and it's often us that actually creates that barrier for them to come through, right? When we're open to receiving them, oftentimes it comes very fast once we've removed these things that we're doing that are kind of like punching them away. And we don't realize that. Well, I keep on saying that, I want to be, I don't know, like you want to be like Keisha or whatever, like some Taylor Swift, some performance artist, right? But you don't take any dance classes or voice lessons, and you're not even working on your physical fitness. I mean, if the perfect opportunity, and this is also a great kind of filter for this, if the perfect opportunity came to you tomorrow for your goal, would you be able to say yes to it? Would you be able to show up to it fully being where you're at? Would you be able to accept it and receive it with your thoughts right now? Because that brings us to our last thing that we're going to write down for each of these goals is our actions. Where are our actions and our rituals incongruent with the thing that we want? And again, Virgo is all about organization and putting things in its right place, and practical action. So really getting clear on, are you taking some practical actions in the direction? Or are you actually taking some practical actions in the opposite direction? So for instance, if you want to find that soulmate, are you taking some practical actions to have a date at least every week? Right? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you just smiling? Are you smiling more to people at the coffee shop or in the grocery store? Are you doing the practical actions you can do to kind of wave your open for business sign? If, like I said, if you want to be, the next Lady Gaga or Madonna or, John Mayer, whatever it is, are you in voice lessons? Are you in singing lessons? Are you playing at open mic nights? Are you writing songs at home or whatever it is, right? Are you doing practical things every day that are aligning you with the thing that you want? Because there's so much momentum in that, in and of itself. And we talk about this I did an episode of the podcast a few days ago now, and it's all about asking yourself, what would my most successful self do? And so when you're thinking about these things, about like, okay, what are the thoughts my most successful self is going to think? What is the thoughts that what are the daily rituals that my most successful self is going to have? You can ask if, what are the rituals that the person that has this thing that I'm calling in is going to have? And get clear on where are your actions moving towards that and where are your actions moving farther away from it. So finish writing that up, and then we're going to close with a meditation to just really ground you, to help you perhaps get even more clarity and just solidify these intentions that are on your heart right now, and what it's going to take for you to really bring down that barrier and allow yourself to fully receive them, to fully be open, to be in alignment with them, and take the practical actions that this Virgo new moon is going to really support you to do. Okay, so get into a nice comfy position, around my chair, and you can put both feet flat on the ground, or you can sit with your legs crossed, put your palms facing up for receiving. Close your eyes, and let's just start taking some nice deep breaths. In your nose, out your mouth, in your nose, out your mouth. Just allowing anything that happened earlier today to be released from your energy field, and allowing your deep breaths to ground you in this present moment, here and now. And I want you to just think of those 1 or 3 things that may have come up for you that you're calling in this moon. And just in this space of really holding that energy of the things that you're ready to call in, let's just ask our soul, our inner guide, what adjustments this Virgo moon is asking from us. What things need to be detoxed from our lives? What ways of thinking need to be released or speaking need to be released? What actions need to be taken or what actions need to be released to move forward for these things? Whew, pardon me. Well, whatever you were thinking of, that was a little sign, a wink from the universe that you're on point. And so let's now just end our meditation by grounding in the feeling of what is going to happen, of that truth on the other side when we make these shifts, when we step into this new level of possibility and this new level of being. See yourself with those intentions and goals already manifested, enjoying them in joy and gratitude. And take a deep breath and lock that feeling in. Feel it move throughout your body. That feeling of the wishes fulfilled. And another breath, and just really locking it in again. And one final breath, filling up with gratitude. Ah, and you can move your fingers and toes and open your eyes and just trust whatever you saw, whatever you heard, whatever messages came through, whatever things, maybe they were aligned with what you had already written down. Maybe they surprised you that came through. You're in a sacred portal during this moon, and the intuitive guidance that you're given in your meditations, as well as throughout the day, is heightened and is meant to guide you towards these desires in your heart that are especially potent right now. So trust it. You can trust it. Until next time, have a wonderful new moon in Virgo, and a happy long weekend.